Good afternoon, YouTube. We are back with a video on guns and gear. Took the dog out for a run and I've been wanting to make a video like this for a while, so here we are. So before we get started too far into the video, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for everyone who has subscribed and commented and liked and everything. It means so much to me. I really appreciate it. With that being said, if you are watching and this is your first time, my name's Sam. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I like duck hunting and bass fishing are some of my favorites. I've been trying to get into a little bit more fishing nowadays with some walleye and maybe perch and some things like that, but that's kind of what the video is going to be about. I have some plans for some camping videos this summer, which I'm really excited for, and I'm really looking forward to making those videos. Starting off, we'll go with the motion decoys that I use when I'm out duck hunting. This here is a decoy spreader, and it's by a company called Motion Ducks. Motion Ducks. I believe they're out of Washington State, but this essentially, I went ahead and attached carabiners on the end to attach to all of my decoys, and you got 4 spots, and so it's pretty self-explanatory. It just sits on the water and spreads those decoys out, and then you got attachment points where you attach your anchor with a bungee on one end, and then you attach your string with your line on the opposing side, and then use it as jerk string, just like you normally would. This thing is really fantastic. I really like using it. The only thing I don't like is when it's real clear water, you can really see this, it kind of sticks out, which if you're anything like me, you're really particular about your gear and the looks of things and stuff, because there's nothing worse than having a perfect setup and being right where the ducks want to be and everything, and not getting them to commit because of that one little detail's off, and they just don't like it. Because if you duck hunt long enough, whether you're new or whatever, you'll find out that the ducks are very particular. They're very wary. That being said, a little tip about your handle. Any handle will do, but get yourself a big swivel, which a lot of them will come rigged that way. Big swivel, like fishing swivel, any kind, just a large one for ease of use. But what I have on here is, I believe it's 80-pound braided fishing line, and it's enough where you can see it pretty well, but the ducks will not see it. Because the first time when I ordered my spinner, the line that it came with was pretty thick. I mean, it was all of a 1/16 of an inch, and it really stood out, and I didn't like that, so I wanted to do something a little more stealthy. So tip on that guy. The second thing I use is a spinning wing decoy, like most people. This one's got a lot of use too. It's starting to look kind of rough. This is by Decoy Dancer, and this is the Migration series, I believe it's called, and it's fully flocked. It looks really good. It's got a really big oversized silhouette, and you attach your string, your pull cord right here, and it's just like that to make it work. The pull string is it's really not that bad, because it gives you a lot of control over the spinner. Immediate on and off, when you need it, when you don't need it. So being that here in Washington State, Pacific Flyway, actually I shouldn't say Pacific Flyway, because I believe Idaho, they might not be in the Pacific Flyway, I don't know, but they can use electronic decoys and such, but we cannot. California, Oregon, Washington. Which make things a little bit difficult, and mostly it has to do with, I don't mind the spinner. I find the spinner is pretty doable, manageable, but it'd be really nice having some motion on the water with the battery powered decoy would be really beneficial. we'll move on to the shotgun. I'm shooting nowadays a Benelli Super Black Eagle 3, and it's got the best coating on it. I've really enjoyed this shotgun. It's been a really good workhorse. The dog's going crazy since I brought the gun out. The fit and finish from the factory, not happy with it. The mid bead was loose. The front bead was loose. The molding on the foregrip and stuff was very rough. Not so much on the outside here, but some of the ends and such. Like, it was $2,100 or something. Like, I felt like, you know, there's a lot to be desired. Okay, I'm gonna put the gun down so the dog stops going crazy. I'm gonna come back to this because I want to talk about it for a second, but before I go, we're using a ShotCam Gen 4. This is the larger version, so I have more battery power, and I get questions about this guy. This is a scope coat for pistols, and it's just the right size and fits right on there. Okay, all right, what's next? This is one I don't get comments on, but tell you what, I like them so much, I hope I can be sponsored one day. I don't have sponsorships for anything, as you can probably tell by the size of the channel, but this is Phoenix Lights is my headlamp that I use. I really like this one because it is rechargeable. You got a USB-C port there, and you got an external battery, which I like best. I don't buy anything when it comes to lights and such. I try not to buy anything, I should say. Oh gosh, now I don't know how this went in here. I try not to buy anything. There, that's the right way. Buy anything that's got an integrated battery. The reason I don't do that is because, you know, the battery's gonna fail at some point. And then also, there's been a few times where I forget to charge this and I need another battery. And luckily, I have another light similar to this with the same battery. And so I just swap it out for the fresh one and I'm good to go. Because waking up in the morning, this does take a little bit to charge. Not an extreme amount of time, but when you wake up at, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning and it's 3:45 and you need to hit the road so you get there on time to the boat ramp and the hunting area, you don't have time to wait an hour or two for this to charge. That's out of the question. But it's got a lot of features. You got the red light, you got your SOS, you got this floodlight, which I use primarily, and then you've got your spotlight, and I use this. You can use them all together in whichever way you want, which I find to be really helpful. Fantastic light, absolutely love it, use it all the time. It's really not that bulky and heavy overall. So Phoenix Lights, if you need them for work, whatever it is, at home, I love these lights. Fantastic. Going back shortly to the shotgun and the gun. This here is a Jebs high voltage choke tube. And like I said, this is the, this is 695, and that has to do with the constriction, how tight it is. What I have in the gun right now is 690, so it's a little bit tighter. Overall, these chokes have done great for me. Ultimately, it comes down to you have got to pattern your gun though, because you can use any quality choke will do. I prefer using these. I think they're good quality. I like using them. And a pro tip, if you want to call it that, but I've got on here copper anti-seize. Copper anti-seize. You smear that on your choke tube. You don't have to put it on quite as much as this. This is just spread out a bunch, but for one, it keeps your choke from sticking in your gun, so it's not going to seize in there. But it also, the main benefit, the point that I do it for, is to keep the choke tube from coming undone. I hear a lot of complaints from people and such, of people where they're out hunting, shooting at clays, whatever it is, and they're constantly retightening their choke tube because they come loose. And I only hand tighten my chokes, and once you use the anti-seize, you'll understand what I mean, but it takes a lot more force to screw it in now. You can't just, you know, give it a spin and it almost goes all the way in. You got to work it in the whole way, but really beneficial. Really enjoy using it, and I don't hunt without it. It's phenomenal. This is my lanyard. This is a Quack Lanyards. I think it's called Quack Lanyards. You have to Google them to find them. It's a small outfit, but you've got just little drops all along the front where you attach your calls wherever you want and however you want. Very comfortable. I wish it would, you know, because it's P-cord and such, it kind of has some memory to it. But other than that, it could be just a bit longer, wider, you know. Well, the dog's a little bored, but she'll have to, hopefully she'll make do. Okay, moving on. We got ourselves a whistle, and it works for widgeon, pintail. I shouldn't say it works for them, I should say you make the sounds. Sit. So you've got your widgeon, you got teal, you got pintail, and then you've also got your drake whistle. I prefer, if I keep it uncovered, it sounds like this. If I cover it, I kind of prefer almost half over. Sounds more realistic from what I've heard from them. So that's by CS Whistle. I'm not exactly sure, I can't remember. That's one of the better quality ones I could find though when I was looking for whistles, other than getting like I think it's called a Wingert whistle, and they're outrageous. I think they're really expensive, top quality, and they got a long wait list. So I'm like, I'm not waiting 2 years for one. I don't use it that often, but I do like using it. I do find that there are times where mallards and such will respond to a widgeon whistle instead of, you know, squawking at them. It's just real nice and subtle. And you can do it actually as loud or as quiet as you want. There's really no wrong way to blow that for the widgeon. I also keep on my lanyard a drop for my dog whistle, Kona. That's really handy. When they're out on a retrieve, you can get their attention a lot better. Very worth having. This is an Acme. You can find these on Amazon. Acme, it's made in England, but it's a 211 and a half. Let's see if you can see that, Acme. And it is 211 and a half. Try not to move that camera too much. Well, Kona's in the pickup now. Hi, baby. Ow! Go get it. Kona. Okay, maybe I can keep her busy for a minute while we finish this video. Okay, goose calls. I'm running a Bill Saunders Traffic, and that one's just great all-around call, legendary call. I'm not the best on it. I do okay, and I find that it's a little harder to blow than some of the other calls that I have, but he makes fantastic calls. If you need one, that's a great choice. It's really good all around. Probably one of the best calls made, really. Really good for lessers and things like that. Great call. Haven't tuned it in a long time. I used to be better on the calls too. I used to put more time and effort into it. I don't get a goose hunt that often nowadays because our land is just, it's all locked up in leases. After that, we got a Molt Gear Triumph. I really like this one. This one's a great call. I find it a little easier to blow. This is more of a greater call. Really solid call. Easier to call, easier to blow, and has a really good sound profile. Okay, moving on to the duck calls. I get a lot of questions about the duck calls, or at least most of them. I've got more duck calls at home, but I prefer to use these two. These are both JJ Layers, and they're T1 timber, I believe. This one here is the standard. This is the small bore, and you can tell by the end of the bore. And this actually is a little bit easier to blow because your air goes through a little cleaner, smoother. It's just louder. So, JJ Layers timber, this is the regular. Got a dog in here. Just about knocking the camera over. Good girl, lay down. No, go lay down. She's so mad. I've already made this video once. I made it in the kitchen, but it's way too echoey. And now Kona might ruin this one with whining too much. Okay, let's see what the other one sounds like. I get a lot of questions about this one. People really like the way it sounds. This one here is just a little bit harder to blow in the sense that you got to be more careful with your air. For example, if I blow too hard, it'll, you know. Whereas with this one, that's like the same air. So this one is just got to be more particular, more careful with your air, more control. This is really not made for highballing and stuff, so. See, like I mean, make lots of really good sounds with that call though. I think that covers all of the stuff I wanted to cover. Let's talk about some tips with your gun. Your shotgun, most shotguns nowadays come with the shim kit. All that does is change where your face, how far down or how far up when you're looking down the rib of the barrel. But that's really important for the fit of the gun. Another thing really important for the gun, these are just common mistakes that I see. People don't even bother to change the shims. They just roll with it, whatever it is. Take the time to learn how to take it apart and how to learn how to take it apart and how to reassemble it and put it together with the right shim is gonna pay dividends to you and your success in your shooting, and then your success and confidence in the field. Another one, length of pull is huge, you guys. If you shoulder your gun and your nose is hitting your thumb knuckle, this is not long enough. This is a aftermarket, it's made by Benelli, but I bought this extended butt pad to extend that out for me, and it fits really well. I can't say that it's the perfect length of pull for me, but it's really close, especially as you increase layers of clothing and stuff. That pushes that gun out further, and that changes as well. But when I put the stock one back on, it's so weird. I can hardly even shoot it. Those are really important things. And learn how to clean your shotgun too. You know, taking it apart is not that difficult. You know, be familiar with your gear, take it apart, all those things, how to use it, how to service it. After that, yeah, this gun it's filthy. It's due for a cleaning. The inside, not so much, just the outside, really. After that, as I said, I got a shot cam on here. I actually have an upgraded front bead as well. And that is, gosh, I don't even know who makes it anymore. All this stuff, I just buy it and put it on and don't ever think about it again. So that's kind of an impromptu video for you guys, but I wanted to bring out something more than just a Saturday video. So I would like to do 2 a week. As I'm getting into things, I'll give you a little channel update. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been out hunting. Mostly because, as you might be able to see behind me, we got ice on our water. We are not in our hunt area, but just around locally home. Once that ice sets in though, you might have a lot of water around that's open, but if the ice comes in, I can't really break it with the kayak, so it gets really hard to get to places. That being said, I could put in some time and go scouting and maybe do some jump shooting while I'm at it, but I've been kind of just taking it, you know, off. It's been a really tough season. I'm just kicking back a little bit, kind of gearing up for fishing. And with that, that's kind of the end of the video. We're gonna leave it at that. I just want to take the time to give you guys a direct thank you for all of your guys' support, the comments and the subscribers. Everything really means a lot to me, and everything's been really positive. I really like that. So I appreciate you all really greatly, and we'll see you guys on Saturday for another hunting video.